Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. I've got another top 10 list here in mind. Now, this is one that I put together on my own, and I was just kind of eager to get these back in my box, so that's why I chose to do it myself. Remember, if you suggest a top 10 list to me, put it down in the comments, and if I do make a list using your top 10s, I will prominently put your name here, and I will start off showing your YouTube page, so maybe you can get some additional followers and stuff. So, with that, let's take a peek at my top 10 errors. Number 10 on my error list. This bill here looks like a normal bill, front and back, nothing too weird about it. I actually found this one in circulation, and the error on this bill is called a solvent error. Now, they use a solvent to clean the ink off of the printing press, obviously, and if they don't wipe down all the solvent to get rid of the ink, sometimes it will get on the bill. And what happens is you get this blurry smudge. You can see this entire thing right here. That is not crisp in the least. That is definitely blurred. And since this came at the same time that these were printed, you can see the smudge around them as well. All four of those. So that is a solvent smear. Not a ridiculously valuable error, but an error nonetheless, and it's one that should have been caught. As an example, here's another bill. You can see just at a glance how crisp the Federal Reserve seal is here for the Federal Reserve Bank versus how this one is definitely smudged. So that would be number 10. That would be an solvent smear on a note. Number 9. Number 9, this note also at a glance looks perfectly normal until you get a little bit closer. One of the things you're going to notice is this seal is not centered on the one. In fact, this seal is moved substantially to the left. Now, this is a prime example of how bills are printed. They're actually printed in 3 stages. The first printing is the printing that's done on the back. All the backs are the same, so that's why they're all printed on the back first. That's the first printing of the bill. The second printing of the bill involves George and everything on the border. That's the second printing. Once again, it's the same on all bills. They can print all these any way they want and in any quantity they want. And it's not until the bill gets the third printing where you get the Federal Reserve seal, the serial number, Federal Reserve Bank stamp. That is when things start changing on bills. So this particular one, like I said, you can see that this Federal Reserve seal is way off center, but it's not just the Federal Reserve seal. Actually, the serial number is shifted way to the left. This serial number is shifted way to the left. And the Federal Reserve numbers in these corners here are also off. In fact, this one goes into the printing of the other of the second print, actually. And the 3 up here covers the F1 up top. So now you've got a crossover as far as printing errors. You've got one print intruding on the print of another, and that's what makes this a valuable error. This is known as a shift error. It's more than just being off center. It's when the print obscures a portion of the other prints. So that's number 9 on my list, the shift error. Number 8 is known as the ink smear. This is an ink smear. You can see right here the black ink did smear all over on here. That is not dirt. That is the bill itself. If you take a look at the back, you can see there's no dirt there. It's simply black ink smudged all over the front of this particular bill. Right there. Should have been caught. Actually, I have another example here. There's green ink on the back of this one, and this, of course, was certified by PCGS, so that is definitely an ink smear. Nothing else. That's what it is. So a front ink smear and a back ink smear. You can find these in circulation. They aren't too difficult to find. They can be found. There's 2 examples of them right there. So that's 10, 9, 8. Number 7. Number 7 on my list of errors. This is a cutting error. You can see here that this $100 bill has an appendage, and if you look really close, you can see what happened. What happened was the top of the sheet got folded over. And if you do a little geometry here, or trigonometry, you can see that the angle here and the angle here are the same angles. That tells you that this portion of the paper was folded over and then the bill was cut. And since then, the bill has been unfolded, leaving the extra paper on there. So this is also a fairly rare occurrence. Whenever you get additional paper like that, that additional paper should stick out of the strap. However, if the page is still folded causing the error, then it's not going to stick out of the strap at all, and it will get into circulation. So this would be a cutting error, and that is number 7, right? 10, 9, 8, number 7 on my list. Number 6 is known as an insufficient ink error. Now this looks like a worn out bill. At a glance it looks just like a worn out bill, which makes these so tough to spot because, yeah, that's what it looks like, until you realize that the paper quality on this is impeccable. This particular note is in extremely good shape. The only thing wrong is there wasn't enough ink put on the center of this bill. That's why the face is all faded out. If you look at the back was inked properly because the back was inked at a different time. So you don't have that fading in the center. So that's the hint in finding this one. You've got a perfect bill as far as condition goes, and the back is not damaged at all in any way. So you know that this isn't damage on the bill. This is just an insufficient inking error. 10, 9, 8, 7, so that's number 6. Actually, this is another example of an insufficient inking error. This is a $20 bill, also an insufficient ink error. And what happened here is that the nozzle that was putting the ink on got plugged up, so only this one is about 2/3 of the bill only got printed here. So that's just a really neat one to find. And look at the crease in this one. It's got some dirt here. It's amazing that this bill made it into circulation and was circulated as long as it was before somebody spotted this, because like I said, this bill is not perfect. You know, it's in decent shape overall, but nowhere near perfect. So yeah, those two are both insufficient ink errors. Next up, I've got 2 examples of what is called an offset printing error. An offset printing error, you can see this is the back of the bill. On the front here, there's the front. Yeah, it's on a silver certificate. That makes it kind of cool too. But what's more important is the back of this bill. The back of the bill, now if you notice, the words are written backwards. What happened was when they went to print this side of the bill, they started the printing before the paper was inserted. So because the process had started, this image got printed on the plate on the back, okay? And when the bill got put in, when they were going to print this side, the new printing went here, and the old printing that was printed on this got pressed onto the back as well. So by starting the machine too soon, they ended up printing on the wheel, and that gave you an offset print on the back. That's why everything on the back is printed backwards. Now, it did not bleed through. That's not how it's designed. You can actually see that it's slightly offset, but the offset print being printed backwards like that is a relatively rare error. I've got another one here. That's a $1 bill. Here's an offset print. It's even hard to look at. It looks like, are you trying to look through the bill or not? This here's a small head $10 bill from 1993. Major error, it's the full offset print. This one is offset on the back. This is the front of the bill here. You can see the serial numbers here. If you look at the back, looks like a perfectly normal bill. And the thing is, like I said, it's not printed wrong. This right here, if we look at the bill, is now on this side of the bill. So it's not, you know, it's not that it was printed on the wrong side. It is an offset print. In God We Trust is printed backwards on there as well. All right, number 3 on my list. Number 3, this is known as a gutter fold. You can see right here, this portion of the paper had been folded over during the course of the printing process. Because that was folded over, you can see that this little corner actually belongs over here. You can see the gutter where these pages were clipped together like that. This was printed while there was a fold in the paper. And then after the printing process and the bills were cut, then this fold came undone, and you got this extra little piece of paper here, and you can see how the print itself is broke and on a portion of the bill that shouldn't even be attached. So that's known as a gutter fold. Well, this particular one is also the folded corner, but the gap in the printing is known as a gutter fold. You can see it there, and you can see it a little bit right there. See if I can get a little closer on that. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, a gutter fold and the corner fold as well. That's number 3 on my list of errors. Number 2, one of my more dramatic errors. It is a perfect 1981 $20 small head bill. Perfect note on this. Really, really good condition on this particular note. What's the error? Nothing. This note is perfect. They just didn't finish it. This is a missing first print. The back of the note is the first print, and what happened here was 2 pieces of paper got stuck together during the first print. One of the pages, of course, didn't get the first print. When they went to do the second and third print, the pages did separate, and that's why you've got the front of this note being absolutely perfect and the back of this note being one gigantic whoops that should have never made it out of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, but it did, and I am very grateful for it because I am the proud owner, and proud I am. So, missing print, like I said, there are 3 prints. The first print is the back, the second print is the border and the president, the third print is the serial number. So that's first print, second print, third print. This is a missing first print. And finally, number 1 on my list of errors. Check this out. This is a 1981 $5 bill, and I'm sure you guys notice it's missing all kinds of stuff on this particular bill. There is no serial number on here, no Federal Reserve, no seal, no nothing. And that would be a pretty big mistake. This would be a missing third print error. However, I did find where the print went. It's on the back. They put this in the wrong way, and because they put it in the wrong way, the Federal Reserve seal, the seal here, and the serial number all got printed on the back of this note. That makes this a very impressive note. This note, of course, should have never gotten out. Almost makes me think it was created to be like this. So it's not a missing third print because I found where it is. It just doesn't have the third print here. It was printed on the wrong side. About as dramatic as you can get for an error. Should have been caught, wasn't caught. I'm glad it wasn't because now I have it in my collection. So that's number 1 on my list of errors. All right, guys. That's what I've got for my top 10 list this week, my top 10 favorite errors in my collection. If you guys have an idea for a list, go ahead and put that idea in the comments, and if I use it, I will put your name out here. I will show your YouTube page to start it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm looking forward to your suggestions, and I'll see you guys next week.